Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. Dave's here. We're going to talk about comic book movies. It's summer break. They're shorter episodes. You get it. We watched two movies. One of them is, I don't know, it's maybe not great.
They might not get it. This could be their first episode.
If it's your first episode, one's
Welcome
good,
in.
one's maybe not good. I don't know. We'll find out. But a couple of things I did want to announce up top. Before we dig into anything, our website has been updated. It is just www.itsjusttwomovies.com. That's it. The website's updated. We also have, if you want to support the show, we have a Buy Me a Coffee, which is just buymeacoffee.com/itsjusttwomovies. And we also have an Amazon affiliate link. So if this is a show you listen to every week and you love this show, and you're going to buy shit on Amazon anyway, it helps us if you go into the episode description and just click our link before you add shit to your cart. What do you think of those things, Dave? That's what I've been doing with my week.
I think that is great opportunities for people who listen to support you without really,
Nice.
doing too much. It's not like they got to hit you up and try to buy something from you. They can just do their every normal day.
As
use
a
that
show,
affiliate link.
Yeah, as a show of good faith, showing that you don't have to buy anything from me. I appreciate it if you chuck in a buck, if you got one to spare. Literally any amount of money that you're comfortable with. It can be a $1 one time. I am cool with that.
Yeah, and that buy you a coffee doesn't have to be a coffee, Buy you a whiskey drink, buy you a smoke, whatever you think Danny's into. He'll take it.
I would just always say it's like a craft beer. Unless they have craft beer on tap, and then it's a draft. It's probably about that. I think it's like $4 or some shit like that. Anyway, that stuff doesn't matter. Just because you know that I'm not trying to buy you shit, shoot me an email. It's justtwomovies@gmail.com. I'll send you some free stickers while supplies last. Anyway, Dave, we continue our dive into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, one infamous or famous protagonist at a time. We went through all of Captain America. Now we're working our way through Thor. We were doing it in preparation for Love and Thunder, so we could do that on the podcast as well. Have you seen Love and Thunder yet?
And Love and Thunder, I have not. I did hear that you've seen it, though.
I did. Yeah, I did go see Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm not going to review it here. I did leave a brief review of it on Instagram. It's just some of my personal thoughts about Dave, and I will get to it at some point, as long as another guest doesn't select it. And when we do, we'll review that movie. Maybe my opinion will have changed by then. Who knows such things?
So I definitely want to see it, but...
Speaking of changing opinions, we watched Thor, The Dark World. And I got to tell you, before we rewatched this, I would have said, as far as the Thor movies go, this is probably like a bottom of the list. I thought this was great.
Great?
I thought it was pretty great, man. I thought it was
great.
pretty great because at the time, it's a lot of things that make more sense later,
right?
In
and
the
that's
MCU.
As
a standalone
I feel
movie,
like I would have to give my opinion on two sides. I guess one side would be the person who's already seen the Infinity Saga, and then the second one would be from somebody who's coming in fresh and's only seen the prequel movies up until this point.
Right.
To where watching it from the Infinity Saga aspect, it was a lot more entertaining than I feel like I remember it being.
Yeah, I remember it being a slog. I remember it being very boring and not having much of a point. I don't think that on this rewatch, but we'll get into it. If someone you knew had been like, "Oh yeah, I love Marvel movies, but I've never seen Thor: The Dark World," what is it about?
Mainly about an ancient race thought to be extinct who wants to reclaim their world's prosperity and also make the rest of the realms perish in darkness.
Just some sweet...
I guess that's a weird synopsis, but...
Some sweet dark elves. No, that's what it's about, though. Thor the Dark World is a PG-13 2013 action-adventure movie, 1 hour, 52-minute runtime. You can watch it on Disney Plus if you've got that. 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, 54% on Metacritic, 84% of Google users like this movie. Directed by Alan Taylor, $644.8 million in the box office. Wow.
What year did you say?
That is a whole lot of wampum. 2013. Stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, a brief cameo by Stan Lee, Kat Dennings, Christopher Eccleston. Who else we got here? There's a couple of that guy's in there. Jamie Alexander is Lady Sif. Zachary Lee is Fandral, which is hilarious because he was supposed to be Fandral in the first Thor movie, and he didn't get it for whatever reason. I think it was scheduling conflict. And then in this one, he's like, the Warriors 3, or they're gonna be in the movie more, right? And Disney was like, Marvel's like, oh, absolutely, yeah, you're gonna be very busy. So he took the role, and then they're just barely in it, and they're not in the next one at all. So yeah, so now he's Shazam.
Is that actor?
Yeah, Zachary Levi. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was him. He was
Fandral. He's like the Zorro type guy of the Warriors 3. Yeah, good stuff. Also, Ray Stevenson, Idris Elba, and Anthony Hopkins. I mean, there's more people in it. Stellan Skarsgård's in it, obviously.
Chris Evans did a brief cameo.
Chris O'Dowd has a brief cameo. Rene Russo's in it. Benicio del Toro has a quick cameo at the end. So yeah, there's tons of people in here. Richard Blake. I mean, the list goes on. But my first question is, in this movie where Odin's like, I have one son that wanted to usurp the throne and another one who won't take it. You know, Thor, what's your problem? And he's like, oh, I'm in love with the stripper, and that's an old reference to a rap song. I'm in love with Natalie Portman, and I'm gonna go. I gotta Natalie Portman it up. And Odin's like, all right, man, see ya. And Natalie Portman discovers gravitational disturbances, and the worlds are coming together because the Dark Elves have an Infinity Stone, or they're trying to get it, pretty much, but it's called the Ether.
You lost me.
I was just...
That's just your intro? That's how you're going in?
That's where we're at. Yeah. That's the gist of what's happening for the first 40 minutes.
Yeah,
that's the setup, I guess.
Yeah, the convergence, if you listen to the first episode with us talking about Thor, I had that question that I just didn't have answered that was bothering me about the realms. And like, are the realms planets, or are they just planets that you can travel to? Are they different universes, or what? Yeah. And this movie did well of kind of explaining that, to where it had a good visual. They just exist in tandem, to where they're connected. They're within the same universe. Right. They could be planets on top of planets, essentially. But what the convergence is all these realms lining up together, to where then their space interacts with each other, essentially. Right. To where something could happen in one realm, but then portal into another realm. Right. Seamlessly. I love Stellan Skarsgård in this, who plays the doctor. I forgot his name. Selvig. Dr. Selvig, yep. Who plays Dr. Selvig, and it just shows everybody his bum, and he's having a nice time, instead of being sad and Scandinavian or whatever his deal is. Yeah, they made him, he just went crazy. Yeah, I bet he looks like he's having a great time with this. And yeah, he wasn't in it that much. Nah, he's having fun. He's a little crazy, and he's just like, hey, come on screen and say some crazy funny shit. Because he's always like a grizzled detective whose wife got murdered, or, something. Yeah, if you remember, why he's insane? Did you see that? I do remember. This is post the Avengers. Yeah, this is up after, of course, after the first Thor, but after the most recent Avengers. Was it in the Avengers, or was it? I think it was the first Avengers. This is post. Yeah, but Avengers 1. It was. They said he said he had a god in his brain, and that's why he was like mentally scrambled. Yeah. Other than having the thoughts of the convergence that he thought he was wrong on. Because Loki took control of his thoughts, or his via mind. That scepter or whatever with the Mind Stone. Mm-hmm. That son of a bitch. I wish we could see Loki because he just kind of shows up with it, doesn't he? Does he take it at some point? The ether?
No, the Mind Stone and that scepter that Loki has when he pops up in the... We're not talking about that movie.
Right.
We're talking about this one. Sorry, I'm getting off track. If you have seen the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're probably interested in that, but we're not going that direction.
Right.
We're gonna stay on target.
Yeah, one of the setups of the movies is Loki getting imprisoned and on Asgard for what he did in actually Avengers. So they did do a little bit of... It wasn't much of the movie. I thought they did that well to where they explain enough, maybe enough to get you interested in watching the previous films.
Oh, yeah.
But not enough to really, give up 10 minutes of your time to make the movie a little bit longer just to explain it.
Well, he tested so well in Avengers that he originally wasn't in the script for this. There was more focus on Malekith and Jane Foster also being a. Was that one of your fun?
Yeah,
fun
that was
tidbits?
one of my notes too.
Yeah, so they were going to focus on the character of Malekith and making Jane Foster like destroy a planet as a show of power after she's taken over by the ether or whatever. But everybody liked Tom Hiddleston so much they decided to write him into this, and I think back when I originally sat in the theater and watched this, I was unimpressed with that because I was like, I just saw this guy be the bad guy.
I get you. So
I just saw this. You know what I mean?
But it's a little bit more of a redemption rather than him being the bad guy. But
it just makes
on the rewatch,
it just makes him a main character. Like, I mean, he's not. But essentially,
he wasn't really in the first half, though.
You could argue
than them in prison,
you could argue Loki died an Avenger. He knows everybody else on the team, and he was willing to lay himself down on the line. Somebody would have, if the whole team was there.
I think he was.
And then later they were talking about it, they would have been like, no, he was an Avenger.
Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't make that argument just because Avengers are Earth's mightiest heroes, and Loki was doing that for Asgard.
Yeah, but
he was doing that because his mama, he's a mama's boy. Mm-hmm. And he's a sad, weeping little boy. He don't want anybody to know it.
No. He is. He's a big crybaby. Big, weepy crybaby. Me too, though. So anyway.
Yeah. So
Loki's in prison, and they're like, ooh, we're dark elves, and we're coming for, we're waking up in our spaceship like the movie Alien. You ever seen Alien from 1979? It's kind of like that. They're waking up.
Is that the one with the Predator?
Yes. Yes. Where they're playing that game where you play as Zelda. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
yeah. Yeah, you got it. He covers himself in pig shit. That's the one. Pig's blood. Just mixing all kinds of movies. So, man, there is a lot of rich story in here. I tell you what, I don't want to go through the rest of it beat for beat. Tell me just like what parts you liked about it. Like what on your rewatch, when you're just watching this as yourself, as Dave, not as a person who has not seen the entire cinematic universe.
What I wanted to know is no spoilers for Thor: Love and Thunder, but did this movie on the rewatch? Because did you watch this after you watched?
There's stuff that made more sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watching this, I really did appreciate.
I watched Love and Thunder, and then the next day I watched this.
Nice. So yeah, super fresh in your mind. But the love story or the I don't even know what you would call the connection that Jane and Thor has.
The continuity of their relationship. Yes, it makes sense in the timeline after watching Love and Thunder and then rewatching this. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Actually, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well,
so they picked a great gap. What they did was they just laid out Thor's timeline, and I'm sure looked at it and went, where is there a gap where we can tell a story? There's a gap right here. Let's say this happened. But it already fits with everything else.
So it was perfect writing on that aspect. But no, I really liked how... I don't know if the first time I watched this, I don't think I liked this movie that much because I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie 3 times. Actually, if you count, I did watch this movie 2 times today. So I think this might be my... that as one time,
this
I
might be
watched it 3 times.
I think this is my second watch ever.
The reason why I say I think it's my 3rd time is because I'm pretty sure I watched it when it came out. I know I rewatched the entire Infinity Saga before Infinity War, and then I just watched it again. But I could have swore I was watching it for the first time whenever I watched it this time.
Yeah.
There was quite a few characters I did not remember or events that I did not remember.
A lot of this shit I didn't remember. I was like, yeah, there was a dark elf and there was the ether and Jane Foster got ethered and then they saved the day. That was like all I remember. That was my entire takeaway before I sat down and rewatched this. And I'm like, there is a lot of lore being built in this.
And I feel like that's what they did wrong.
There's no payoff.
Yeah, they had too much of a meaning behind it without having the essentials there. Yeah, I feel like that's what Marvel's done well is they focus on making a good movie, and maybe they learned from this movie to where you can't focus on world building too much
all the time.
You gotta focus on
character development,
good story.
Yeah. So, is Korg small?
Korg is small, yes.
For a Cronin?
Oh, for a Cronin? I don't...
Because Thor's fighting that Cronin in the beginning, and he's fucking huge.
Him. Yeah, he is super huge. It does
explode him, yeah.
I don't know if he is a giant Cronin or not. I don't know. I mean, I would assume so, now that seeing, both
just had me wondering, because, he's not... The thing that Thor killed in that movie is probably... On screen, it looks to be 4 or 5 feet taller than Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And I would say in the movies, Korg's got like 2 feet
maybe
on Hemsworth. Yeah, he's not much taller.
Yeah, but the sheer mass and size, like Korg is like, like a broad human almost. And this thing was, 2 widths or more of a human.
I like the cool, the dark elf spaceships. When they're doing like the TIE fighter entry kind of into Asgard, I really like that.
Whenever, the Dark Elves first invade, the ships were very unique looking too. I thought if you guys watch Star Wars, they almost look like Boba Fett's ship, and they have weird like movements, and the wings aren't symmetrical.
No,
but the way that they did the shots and out of Asgard was awesome. I
thought
I have that marked down. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know how do they do that all CGI or is that a drone shot that they
I have
do
no
CG
idea.
on top of?
I am every time I see one of these, I'm impressed with how awesome fucking
especially
Asgard
this was like
looks.
you said 2013 like
yeah, looks good. Did you watch this on Disney Plus?
I did.
I own a copy of this, but I didn't have the Blu-ray. I just have the DVD, and I was like, I don't really want to dick with the DVD player. I'll just watch it on Disney Plus because it's already streaming. So I wonder, again, which we've brought this up before, I wonder how much of this they doctor up and throw back on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I feel like they do that with almost everything.
Why wouldn't you, though? I appreciate the fact they do it because I was blown away by the visuals on this.
Yeah.
I loved all the stuff with Odin. I thought all that was great. Like when he gets upset at Loki and he's like screaming at him and shit, I was like, get him, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I fucking love it, baby.
I feel like Odin does do really well, or Anthony Hopkins just...
He sells it.
Yeah.
He sells it. I buy the fact that he's old as fuck, but also could beat my ass.
Right.
But I don't know Anthony Hopkins. I don't think so.
I really liked how they were building the love story between Thor and Jane. And how, like, even after the victory of saving all the 9 realms, Thor was speaking to Lady Sif, and she's like... Oh, but where do you sneak off to every night? Like, everybody does notice that you sneak off every night. Then it turns out that he's going to Heimdall because he can see
wants to check on
everybody.
Jane.
And he just gets his little daily briefing of Jane. Oh, what's Jane up to?
What's that bitch
still
what's that
moping
bitch
around
been doing?
thinking about me?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Good.
She's
love
a
it.
keeper.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff. Another thing about the elf, which you get a lot of payoff for that in Love and Thunder, obviously.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Because
and
this one I felt like did kind of build that lust more.
This is not really spoilery. I mean, this is part of like the initial press release.
You better be treading lightly.
But it follows a lot of the original like Jane Foster, the Mighty Thor storyline as far as the comics are concerned. I mean, it's a condensed version of it, obviously, because they cram it into one movie. But
did you happen to hear what? You hear Taika Waititi, the director of Thor, like Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Yeah, and Jojo Rabbit and the Wilder People.
Did you do that on the podcast? Jojo Rabbit yet?
Yeah, we did Jojo Rabbit. We did not do The Hunt for Wilder People, but I love that movie also.
But Taika, he got the green light from Disney to write and produce his own Star Wars movie, or like they pretty much just told me he had free range. It's more likely going to be a movie.
The last thing I've heard was it might not happen still, but they were like, bring us a script, and if we like it, you just do whatever you want.
Essentially, that's what they've been doing recently. Is they'll green light people to write a trilogy, and they'll essentially just reject one. Like they'll pretty much get 2 or 3 people to do it, and then
his would be
bring
fun.
One of them
it
to
would
fruition.
It would have a little levity to the fact that, like, all right, guys, this is a Star Wars movie, so there's like goofy looking aliens and shit, and let's have some fun with that.
I know you're not too much into the Star Wars films, but Taika did ask if Natalie Portman would be interested in being in his.
And what did she say?
She said, "I was already in 3 of them."
So pass.
So if you want to write that same character, maybe, but he's supposed to be doing a completely different era, which would be awesome, because I feel like just
you could get Natalie Portman as Natalie Portman's like mom or something, or great granddaughter,
or with a lot of the Star Wars shit, what they do is just like with all the practicals effects, like you could make her any species, any race, and she's not the same character. She's not
like
gonna look like it,
like Ahsoka,
or even a stormtrooper.
Like Ahsoka. Like a super Ahsoka. Boom,
God damn.
Got
Super
her.
Ahsoka?
Don't even watch Star Wars. Eat it. Don't even know what a Star Wars is. War stores. So one thing I did want to say about the Dark Elves. I want to talk a little bit about the Dark Elves. A lot of things about them I don't like. I'll tell you what I do like is those fucking black hole hand grenades.
Oh, yeah,
Those are fucking sick.
Yeah, where is that tech throughout the MCU? Because that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. Just get sucked into antimatter or whatever
it is.
It's just a gravity bomb. It's not dissimilar from what Peter Quill uses in Guardians of the Galaxy to get the Power Stone out of that gravity trap or whatever that is. It's just a gravity trap, his thing. But this is like on a way more more intense level. It looks like a fucking black hole.
But just portals somewhere?
It just sucks you into a black hole. Maybe it sends them to Sakaar. That would be a fun through line.
But that tech can't be out there, because that would just destroy everything.
You would think. Like, what if they just made it on a larger scale? Just the whole planet's gone, just in the galaxy's trash can. Weird.
I'd buy it. Give me 2, I guess. Shit.
But I like them. They're badass. If they gave me any exposition as to how they worked. Elves,
I hate how they mated
how they all have the same mask.
How they made the second in command way more badass than Malekith. Malekith.
Yeah.
I always want to say Malekith. I don't know. I feel like I heard it the first line.
It's like Toby Keith. It's Malekith.
It's supposed to be Malekith, but for some reason I heard Malekith, and that's all that's in my head.
Malekith, that's what I heard.
That's what I always hear.
Got it. I hate their helmets. The fact they're all wearing the same face mask, which I don't even hate that, but it doesn't look practical. It's just like a creepy doll elf mask.
Just chalk it up to it's called culture. If you ever heard of that.
Guess, yeah. There's a bit where Frigga is doing some sword fighting, and I quite like that.
Yeah, Frigga, Thor's mom, was fighting Malekith. Yeah, she kind of... Like, I feel like Loki does some of the same kind of stuff, so you can kind of see where she gets some.
Oh yeah,
he loved that movement.
He loved that witchcraft.
That too, yeah. He was always that makes sense, yeah.
Which he shows off a bit when Thor decides to bust him out, and he's doing impressions and shit. He switches into. They get Chris Hemsworth. You know what I'm talking about? He switches into Captain America. Okay, I was like. He just changes into Captain America, and they got Chris Hemsworth for that.
For what?
When Thor is busting Loki out, and they're walking through the thing, and he's like, "How about we talk about justice?" And it's just Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, no, you're talking
not
about
Chris Hemsworth. Chris
Evans. Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is the story. Anyway, Chris Evans, how they did that
Yeah,
was...
you know, Chris Hemsworth was there.
They shot the scene with Todd Hiddleston doing it. They shot the scene with Todd Hiddleston doing it, and then they had Chris Pine look at that and go, "Now it's my turn. I'll do it." And that's the cut that they used. If you're not confused, I do mean Tom Hiddleston. So they shot the scene with Tom Hiddleston of him like pretending like he's Captain America. He even wore the Captain America uniform and did that cameo scene. And then they took that and they showed it to Chris Evans. And then they put him in the suit and they're like, all right, you do exactly what Tom Hiddleston did.
Chris Evans is acting like Tom Hiddleston. Who's
acting like Chris Evans.
Like Chris Evans acting like Captain America. Steve Rogers.
That's exactly correct. Wild, right?
Wait, but then, yeah, that's too much.
Yeah,
and it was done really well. It was fun.
It was a great cameo because it looks like Captain America, but it still has the the body language and vernacular and fucking sarcasm of Tom Hiddleston.
Right.
It's great. It's a good,
and it just kind of shows off the power of Tom because that was right after Loki. That was right after Thor breaks him out of prison. And Loki's all distraught because Frigga just got killed.
Mm-hmm.
But even though he toes the line of, I'm being all presented like dressed to the nines, or am I looking like I'm batshit crazy because I've been crying for a week? But since he's an illusionist, you don't know what his actual state is.
Oh, yeah.
He just perceives himself
and he's
as
just
dressed to the nines as all the time.
And he's just mentally in shambles.
Right. He's just...
Yeah, he's not having a great time.
Right. And then it goes to that scene of where he's being Chris Evans, but then he also shows his power that he can make Thor look like
he's had his hand chopped off and shit.
Yeah.
That was good. I forgot about that. I'm watching this movie that I've seen like 10 years ago or whatever. I'm like, I lean up in my seat. I'm like, oh, I don't remember this. It's because it was an illusion.
Yeah, right when they broke Loki out, they were breaking Jane out. And one of my favorite parts of the movie was whenever Jane first sees Loki, she's like, "Are you?" And then just slaps him. And it was because of what happened in Avengers. She's like, "You're that motherfucker from New York. You're fucking up our shit."
What'd you think of the post-credit with the Collector? Where they give the Asgardians give the Collector the ether. And they're like, hey,
I thought it was trash.
Hang on to this ether, baby. And he does a big bow.
I thought it was cool how they introduced him, had the stuff in the background and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the whole movie was just fought over literally 5,000 years for this ether. And just because you have 2 Infinity Stones in your kingdom, you don't want to have it? Like, I understand whatever they have you, but did they ever explain what the connection was and why the Collector is the one to be beholden with this power?
Do you know how they have, like, in a bunch of the movies, there are these little tiny clips from Thanos in the post-credits? Mm-hmm. There should have been a totally different one that they added into these films about the Grandmaster and the Collector because they're brothers. And you wouldn't know that from any of the movies. But they have a rich history.
The Grandmaster from Ragnarok?
Yes. That's the brother of the Collector. Yeah, no. How would you? They never address
it. Not from the MCU.
Yeah. So, but they have a pretty interesting backstory that you could cover in 5 fucking minutes, and those scenes would be weightier. And I think the only reason that I like the bit with the Collector at the end is because I'm already familiar with that character and his lore as a standalone scene. Not already knowing that, it's kind of like weird choice. You know what I mean?
And what it might have been is that James Gunn actually directed that scene and put together that because he was doing Guardians.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and that's how quite a few of the post-credit scenes are, is that they're shot
the next
by
director.
the next director or the director that is tying the movie to.
That's pretty good.
To where I could see if he was familiar with the character, and he didn't know because the movie hasn't been released, so he doesn't know the ins and outs of what Thor is going to be, or Thor the Dark World is going to be. So he just assumes, you need them to give it to the collector, and you need it in a 30-second to a 60-second clip.
How many illusion thumbs for Thor : the Dark World?
All right, I told you I'm going to have to split it into two. I got to give you the...
Give me one for the show, and then give me one with the stipulation.
Going into it, fresh illusion thumbs?
Fresh illusion thumbs. Out of 10, if
6.5.
6.5 illusion thumbs.
Pretty
If all your 10 fingers were illusion thumbs.
There was a lot to like about it, but not enough to keep me loving 2 hours of it.
I will say the last 15 to 20 minutes kind of felt like a slog. And I will give it a 7.5 because I don't remember what I gave Thor, but I think I like this more than the first film. I like the look of it more. Although like the dark elves thing and the ether and like that's cool. There's a lot. This is purely for somebody who's seen all of him. So on a rewatch, it has so many like, oh my God, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, that's why I'd give it a 7 on the stipulation.
Yeah,
I've already seen everything, but I just didn't like. I think they spent too much time on Midgard, on Earth, with Darcy, and like I don't know if it was just them
padding for time. Some of it did feel unnecessary in the grander scope. You know what I mean? Maybe the last 15 minutes wouldn't have felt so brutal if there wasn't so much.
Yeah, I did want to ask you, though, like, with the convergence, they explained it as being a cosmic occurrence that happens roughly every 5,000 years to where every realm aligns.
Right.
What else do you think could have happened, like, at that time, that all 9 realms are aligning to where people are randomly portaling? Like, you can't think the Dark Elves are the biggest bads out there using that to their advantage. You gotta think, maybe not Thanos, but a Thanos-level threat was using that warping.
A Celestial, any of the Celestials, Galactus, Silver Surfer.
I don't know if many people... I don't think you've watched a Miss Marvel, but they introduced the Nor dimension of the Nor realm.
Ooh, nice.
So you get another realm to kind of put in that convergence question of that's cool. Another place that's linked up to where you're not,
That's cool. And I'm sure they're going to bring back America Chavez. She'll pop back up.
Yeah.
You liking some Norse myths, are you?
Maybe a time or two.
Speaking of things that are old as fuck and kind of drawn out, how do you feel about Norse myths? I'm trying to think of a better segue. I don't think there is one, though. We're going to go watch another movie about a Norse myth, the myth of Beowulf from 1999. So we're going to go check that out. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Please enjoy a fake word from our fake sponsors, or maybe a real sponsor coming soon. Who knows?
Bone crush energy.
Nice.
Hey.
Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's the perfect start.
Do you like energy?
Annually, 9 out of 10 American citizens report having low energy throughout the workday. Now, modern science has brought you a practical and affordable solution to workday fatigue.
Do you like energy? Bone crunch.
Oh, hey Birdman, what's up?
Hang on. Let me take a drink of my Bone Rush energy.
How are you today?
Ooh, super sexy.
I don't disagree.
How do you feel?
I feel pretty good after having my Bone Lunch energy drink.
Bone Punch energy. It just has all of the electrolytes.
Yeah, man.
Even that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What do you know about Bone Daddy?
Look, here's what I know about Bone Stunch energy. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Here's what I know about Bone Scrunch energy. So that it makes me super chill and super productive. And I love it.
That's awesome. What would be something just like...
Here's what I think about boner energy. I think it's pretty good for you. It's got plenty of electrolytes, even that one.
Hey, do you know what else is in bone
keeps your thirst quenched. What?
Bonefish has 1% water,
Which is all you need from the universal solvent. Drink bone sauce or whatever this was called. Bone product.
Bone crunch.
Also say bone product.
Bone product.
Bam, 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 dan.
Bone crush energy.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back. We watched Beowulf from 1999. If you're not familiar with Beowulf from 1999, it is a 1999 fantasy adventure film. Our 35-minute runtime, we rented it on Amazon. It's got a 4.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. 65% of Google users like this movie. Directed by Graham Baker, starring Christopher Lambert, Roa Mitra, Oliver Cotton, Patricia Velasquez, Vincent Hammond, and Layla Roberts. What'd you think about this, Dave?
I feel like it's got a bunch of people in it that you think, oh, that's like the knockoff or the generic version of this guy. And that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
Overall, I feel like it was straight down the middle. You want, I'll just go ahead off top, give you my thumbs. I feel like this movie was straight down the line.
Whoa. You gotta reserve that shit.
All right, I'll just tease it.
Yeah.
Go straight down the line.
How's that for a little bit of sizzle, ladies and gentlemen? Like a fatty piece of bacon strewn about a hot pan. We talked briefly before while we were watching the movie, like how familiar. I just asked how familiar are you with the story of Beowulf?
Yeah, and I was
at all, and
not
you're like,
at all.
I know the name.
I've heard of the one they call Beowulf, but I've never seen or heard really anything about him. I remember, honestly, the main thing I remember, I think it was superhero movie. It was the parody movies that I don't know who was making, but they made date movie and superhero movie and those weird parody funny movies. But they had a Beowulf character in that, and that's honestly the only reason why I know that he is a character.
Okay, yeah.
But you told me he was Norse, so that kind of ties into Thor.
It definitely ties into Thor. It's just a Norse legend of a monster hunter, essentially.
Yeah.
Who he goes to a village where this king's mead hall. He has a great mead hall, and it's been ransacked by this monster, and they're being terrorized or whatever. Beowulf's like, I'll kill the monster. And he fights the monster. He doesn't kill it, and runs off. Well, Beowulf finds out that the king had slept with another monster. It's a term for warrior woman, but it's woven in a sci-fi kind of way. So it's this warrior lady who's a witch or whatever. She has this monstrous child that's a giant. And he finds out that the king slept with her and that giant is his eldest son. So...
And that's the movie we just watched.
Well, what happens is Beowulf also sleeps with the lady and makes a monstrous child with it to usurp the existing king, Hrothgar. That's the more fleshed out legend. What we watched stops about halfway through that.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that's what you were describing, what we just watched. And more than likely, that's probably what they're getting at, but that's not what I got from it.
Yeah, it was real drawn out, my description of it, but that's
that sounds entertaining.
The gist of the full legend. What we watched was half of that, and half of what we watched was just, I don't know,
it wasn't too bad. I really loved. There was There was some.
There was some fun stuff. There was some enjoyable stuff in here. There's a couple of.
If you're into medieval weapons,
like
I imagine a lot of these you'd have a lot of fun with. Because I don't know if they were just steampunky or like.
Yeah, if you love a clockwork dagger, there's a couple cool ones in this.
Yeah, but the one did have functionality to where it shot the cogs out. To where it just wasn't for looks. It just wasn't a steampunk dagger.
There was like apart from the main characters. There are some really bizarre weapon choices in this.
Yeah, they had the pizza cutter 2.0, just in case you need to cut a pizza from
if you
30
need to cut
feet
a
away.
Pizza, but you're not sure if it's going to explode.
Yeah, you need to just make sure you got that optimal distance.
Oh yeah.
Of 30 feet between you and the pizza. You know, you got a long stick with just a circle fucking saw blade on it almost.
Yeah, and just on like an 8-foot pole. It's just a weird choice, you know.
Yeah, but at first I was really off-tooken by that. But once kind of seeing all the other weird weapons, it kind of made me intrigued with like, if this was kind of... It kind of almost seemed post-apocalyptic because they had modern shit, but it was almost just like put together. Like
the dude had a flamethrower.
Right.
There's a bit where a dude just straight up has a flamethrower, but it looks old-timey. It looks steampunky. Is just what it is, just a very steampunk flamethrower.
Right.
And that's it's a neat aesthetic for this stuff. I'm not like, fuck yeah, man. Look at that sword with the fucking handbrake.
Right, and that was
I don't know what else to say about it. It's
main
just a
sword.
Yeah, just a sword with a handbrake on it.
It looked like it might have been for a bike for a giant, to where it had the handlebar with the handbrake.
Yeah.
But it was for a giant, and you put a sword blade on it.
Yeah, and it's Christopher Lambert's an interesting choice for Beowulf.
Yeah, I didn't know who the actor was before watching this. He kind of seemed... I mean, maybe for the 99 time frame that they're in, maybe they were going for the...
I don't think so. Raiden from Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat movie.
That's what they were going for?
Well, he's Raiden. That's his... That's who plays
I haven't seen
Raiden
that forever, so it makes sense that I didn't recall him.
But that's the guy, and that just... the movie was notoriously just cheap.
Yeah, I felt... while we were watching the movie, it seemed like you had a problem with how they did the one of the monsters, the one that was kind of like the Predator without the opening mouth, but he had a weird vine face.
Yeah.
But he was just clouded in that shroud of CGI pixelation.
Yeah, like wavy, like he's a specter.
Yeah,
but sometimes
actually,
he's real and sometimes he's intangible.
I didn't mind that because... I kind of wish more movies did that, and that was another thing that I actually liked with this monster, is because, let's say Venom, for instance. Venom, the movie where they had just the darkest villains, and then they set them at night because it's easier for the CGI to make the monsters at night because you can't see as much details.
It's just two black blobs.
But with this, they gave you the detail, but they put it in that shroud, but the rest of the scene was still in light. So the main functionality of the camera and all of that shit, you could see all the acting and all the acrobatics of the actors a lot better.
That is true.
The monster was just shrouded in pixelation for the CGI budget or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I do like, and
that is true. That didn't take away from any of the other stuff.
Yeah,
like if you in a point in making movies where you had to pick a lane, A or B.
Right.
That's a smarter
decent
choice.
Yeah, instead of making the fight scene has to be at night, so we can't see the character anyway. Why not just make him a little bit shrouded?
I'm so burnt out on gray, smoky monsters.
But I feel like it was better than that. Like you still got the depth. You still knew that it was Predator under the shroud.
Here's what I liked about it.
Bipedal shroud.
The part that I liked about it was that there were little drops to Predator, because they do kind of lean into the horror aspect towards the beginning of the film. Like when it just springs up and kills somebody in the hallway, it's a horror scene. It even has a jump scare,
Right.
and it has a body horror moment to it.
Yeah.
So that horror aspect of it was working for me, but the rest of it, the part that I really didn't like about it was really dialogue between Christopher Lambert and
The main
Rana
chick,
Mitra.
Rana Mitra.
It was real slow.
Real slow. The pacing between the actors' dialogue was really bad
Some
too.
people are slow talkers, and that's okay. But two slow talkers making a movie, it's just it doesn't it translates as
especially
slow.
when the dialogue isn't progressing a lot of the story, or they kind of threw in this, I don't know if you'd call it a love story, or the little connection that they had of, oh, will this lady kind of lock down Beowulf? He's a nomad.
Oh, yeah.
But they kind of just throw that in to where it's dialogue between, like you're saying, two slow talkers, to where it doesn't add to the movie at all. It just takes from it.
So as this not being my first Beowulf feature or encounter with the literature, I know already who the monster is and who the bad guy is and what's up with King Hrothgar. I'm already familiar with that part walking into it. So part of it that I didn't care for was the monster itself, Grendel, because the story is infamous. Like, he came up to originally start causing problems because of the noise that they were making up there. That, like,
which monster was that in this one?
The weird phase monster.
Oh,
that thing. And then its mother was just a warrior woman, but it translates to more of a witch.
Spider?
That's
monster?
Not in it. I think there might be mention of her being a shapeshifter, because that's incorporated.
CGI I've seen in a movie.
Wow.
In a long time.
Bro, it looked like Diablo 2
maybe ever
original.
Actually, now that I think about it,
Diablo 2 original, Fable. I think it looked like Fable on the Xbox.
It looked a lot worse than Diablo 2. The cinematic cuts, like those cinematic cuts, were still better than what that CGI looked like.
That's very true.
I don't remember it as a kid watching it originally, but the Scorpion King, whenever the Rock is that fucking
that's bad
creature
too.
thing, that's always touted as one of the worst CGI moments, but this one has to be worse.
That's right. In the
when they do a close up of the practical, it looks pretty good. Like, it looks great for 99 for sure. Like, it looks good,
not bad. You
but
can
then
tell
they
it's all
zoom
just
out
makeup,
and it's all CGI, just crazy looking, almost like a clay CGI. Doesn't even not like they're trying to make it look human or like the fucking arachnid it is.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. That unfortunately has got to be like some of my favorite parts of this, because the action is very mediocre. The costumes, there's some fun stuff with the costumes and the weapons and stuff.
For sure.
But ultimately,
I think that was one of my more fun parts of the movie.
I would even say a bunch of the fighting stuff is very middle of the road, because they've just got a stunt double doing a bunch of flips and shit. Which is cool. I mean, people love a flip, For me, it's just
flip? What he's doing? What is the back handspring somersault thing?
Oh my god, yeah.
When people do that
backwards fucking moonsault.
Yeah, they do that like 3, 4, 5 times in a row. He does that as a main move at least 3 times, where I guess he's just never fought anybody who's countered that. Like, oh shit, you're doing backflips. I guess I'm just gonna let you keep doing backflips until you get to where you need to go.
Oh man, yeah, there are some fucking really bizarre choices in this. So the female antagonist, she's kind of a succubus, sort of.
Yeah.
She can like inhabit your dreams and stuff, and make you horny, and you bang her, and you didn't even know it happened. Wow, imagine that. Who ever thought of a thing like that?
Yeah, then she gets half.
Then she gets half of all your shit. like your whole kingdom, though. She's like, no, actually, my freak monster baby is going to inherit all your stuff, and we're just going to murder you right here, right now. I don't know. I mean, like, it was okay, I guess.
Just fucking watch it if you want. God, why are you asking us about it?
Yeah, fuck, man. Fucking figure it out. Let me ask you this, Dave. Not like just only knowing what I verbally told you about the story of Beowulf. If you were going to do things differently about this, what would you do? Because I think the majority of the issue here is not casting related. It's directionally related. There are some bad casts in here. There's some really bad,
cut me off at the legs here. I was going to go all casting.
Costumes. The costumes are not great. I would take casting too. Like, just what differently would you do about this?
I feel like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. Wasn't good. Wasn't terrible. Right down the line.
Just
but
kind of
to fix it or make it better, I feel like it was the casting. I know you said it wasn't, but you're wrong.
Well, I would still get, like, no matter what I would do, I would probably still recast Christopher Lambert, because although I like him and he's got a time and a place, it's not as Beowulf in this weird futuristic version of Beowulf. I feel like
if you made it a darker film, he would work. I don't know if he's ever really done any darker films.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I feel like if it was a darker Beowulf,
get like a Jason Momoa maybe.
Yeah, for the style that they're going, I could see that. I could see him working really well.
Just very Scandinavian. You know
if we're actually just going to do a modern
get Stellan Skarsgård.
Sure, that's a
get Stellan Skarsgård. Get Stellan Skarsgård. Oh my God, I'm onto it. Get Stellan Skarsgård to play Hrothgar, the king.
The king. Because
he was in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a boom. There we go. There's a tie-in for the movie that didn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I would say everybody. I don't know. Everybody. I did like the king. Like, I thought that whoever that actor is did do well.
Old bushy brows.
But yeah, whoever you're saying that lead Beowulf guy was, I didn't care for how his...
Talking about Oliver Cotton, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like Beowulf, he was just too... I don't know if he was going for stoic or going for that weird 90s action star, like I'm looking mad or I'm looking fierce.
Christopher Lambert has one speed, and it is Christopher Lambert in every movie he's ever been in. Have you ever seen Highlander?
The TV show?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, the movie.
Fuck, I haven't seen either. But I haven't also, isn't it a book? I haven't read that either.
Okay, well, you've seen Mortal Kombat, the original movie?
I've played Mortal Kombat X.
So, Christopher Lambert, he's the same in all three of those things, just like he's the same in everything.
And that's how a lot of those action stars were, to where if they're not put in their element, which medieval steampunk, whose
they
real
just
element
don't work.
Is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard just to fit in a 90s action star into that realm of Beowulf to just have him kill it. But if you put it in modern day, like you're saying with Momoa, or even like The Rock,
yeah,
I feel like they could kill it.
The Rock would have to have long hair.
Have they done a recent adaptation of Beowulf?
Of Beowulf? I don't think so.
Not within the last 10 years or so?
If anybody was going to do an ancient, not ancient, but a very classic old world epic, I would like a Dante's Inferno done properly. I think would be great. And it would be really easy to make a trilogy, and it would be a fucking hit if you could get the right people to direct it.
I don't believe it.
Well,
I guess you'll just have to prove me wrong.
That's been our famous segment, Hot Takes or Pancakes.
Hot takes or shits I don't believe.
Shits,
you choose.
Shits I don't believe. That's the new YouTube category channel.
All right, we also have a new segment coming in. It's called Email Me All the Shit You Hate at It's Just Two Movies.
Fuck, don't do that.
God, don't tell them that.
No, you can actually. If you can think of a movie that is so bad that it is just bad, like there's nothing redeeming about it, and you just want somebody else to suffer through it, email me at justtwomovies@gmail.com.
Try me, son. I love
and we'll
everything.
figure it out.
You can't send me a movie that's not great. Try me.
I'll fucking love it.
Beowulf.
So how many wolf thumbs? If you were gonna give this wolf thumbs, how many of those?
If I had to give it little wolf ball thumbs,
yeah,
I'd give it. Like I was saying earlier, I teased it earlier. I don't know if you caught on to what I was saying, but it was straight down the middle, which I'm gonna give it a straight 5 out of 10 paws.
5 out of 10. Okay.
How you beat that?
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go 5.5.
Oh god damn!
And there's some stuff in this that I liked, where the king has a fucking halberd, but with a short handle, and when it zooms out and you can finally see the whole blade, it just looks like a cream cheese spreader, like a decorative butter knife. And there's the thing where it just looks like a giant shaving razor at the beginning. They're gonna chop this girl in half, and it just looks like
using it as a guillotine, but instead of cutting off heads, it's cutting off.
It's just
off torsos.
Yeah, it's cutting off torsos, and
but
when they
straight razor.
Zoom out and you look at it, it's just a big straight razor on a winch.
Yeah,
is all it is. So there was some stuff I had fun with in this. I personally didn't care for the direction of the monster. It's kind of a cool idea, but I just have seen it done better in other things. But I enjoyed the little spinny pizza cutters and pasta cutter.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention
on an 8-foot stick.
I did love. We had that guy with the pizza cutter. He was walking into one frame. And it was spinning as he's just marching down the line. And he was I'm about to go on frame. I got to spin it. And then he's just walking like it's motorized or something. Just
oh, man. Some people that were in this were having a good time, but unfortunately the two main characters were taking it
too serious.
Just too dramatically, because there's fun, weird steampunk castle shit in here, and it's pretty fun. You don't really need to muck it up with some of that other shit. So I don't know. 5.5 for me, I guess. So you know what time it is, Dave?
Time to get ill.
Hey, what you watching?
What am I watching?
Yeah, what you been watching? Or playing or reading? Or...
I don't watch things. I forgot I didn't tell you that.
Is that new?
Yeah.
A new thing you're trying?
Yeah, I don't
Digital
actually
diet?
use my eyes. If you haven't noticed, I've been wearing these blind glasses this whole time. But no,
I didn't want to say anything, but...
Yeah, you thought I just had LASIK or something? No,
yeah.
I don't use my eyes anymore.
Okay.
But I do listen to things. I guess I want to know, have you ever heard of Hot Mulligan?
Hot Mulligan?
It is a band and a person.
No.
Who knows? I first listened to them on Spotify. But yeah, no, I've been checking them out the last couple of weeks or so, and they're...
Hot Mulligan, huh?
Hot Mulligan's just a band. They do things and stuff, and give them a listen if you want to see what I've been listening to.
I like the name. I don't like...
Yeah.
Renee, I play a little golf. I'm not any good, but I do like to play.
My girlfriend asked me, she's like, is that a thing? Is that something on Urban Dictionary? Or what is a hot mulligan? I didn't look it up. I'm not for sure. I know it is a band. So if you look it up, it should show them at least.
Hot mulligan, Urban Dictionary.
What's a mulligan in golf is an extra stroke.
All right, here it says...
Off. Oh, stroke off.
Quote, have you heard of Hot Mulligan? Duh, it's the new #1 hot band.
Boom, told you. Urban Dictionary told me.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here we go. When you take a dump on the floor of a local music venue. That's what a hot mulligan is.
Made famous by the band Hot Mulligan. Everybody shit on the floor.
Just take a big old mulligan off that.
Get swifty in here.
It's real hot, and it's mulligan.
But that's a band I've been checking out. Check them out.
All right, I will.
Tell me that you hate them, and then we can rant about it.
I will check them out. Actually, Nate gave me a couple of recommendations. I think Bird recommended me a thing or two, and I actually have them written down. I need to add them to my playlist and put them in my rotation.
But I guess this is a movie podcast, so maybe I've been watching.
Man,
ever heard of Miss Marvel? I
have. Yeah, I haven't watched
it. It's a small
yet.
production company called Disney. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
I've heard pray tell of Disney.
But Miss Marvel, I would recommend to at least check out the first episode, and if you are a preteen girl, you'll probably be hooked. So check it out.
I have a preteen child, so I am looking forward to watching that. And
it honestly would probably be. She would probably enjoy it.
Yeah,
probably check it out with her.
Yeah, I think so. I look forward to watching it. But
what about you? What you been watching? What you been up on?
Well, real time. I haven't sat down to record the show in 2 weeks. At some point, I'm going to shrink the deficit between when we record the show and when the show posts. But this is what summer break is for. But anyway. In the last 2 weeks, I have been watching and playing a lot of things. I've been playing a lot of Spiritfarer. It was a game Birdman recommended to me, and J-Bone, who comes on the podcast all the time, Justin, he let me borrow an extra Xbox that he had, so I've been using...
You mean controller?
I've been using the Xbox Game Pass, and so Spiritfarer's on there. So I downloaded that and I started playing it, and boy, I have just been playing the shit out of it, and I don't want to play anything else until I've finished it.
Damn, that good, eh?
I don't have a ton of video game time. I don't have a ton of video game time. I don't have a ton.
When I do, I make it 2 seconds.
But when I do, I make it Spiritfarer. Is what I've been playing lately. After I'm done with that, I'm playing Pokemon Arceus. Is that how you say it?
Sometimes people do say it like that.
How do you say it, Dave?
If I'm trying to be funny, I'll say it Arceus.
Oh, what if you're humor me? Let's suppose you're being serious.
I'll probably say Arceus.
Arceus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But actually, in your defense, in our D&D campaign, that's where I got my name of my character, that his name is actually Arceus, but it's spelled with a K.
Maybe that's why I always thought that's how it was pronounced.
Maybe, because you've said it.
I've said it several times. Yeah, several times. I didn't know. I've never played a Pokemon game with Arceus in it before.
But in a lot of those games, I truly don't know.
Yeah,
to 100%. I mean, a developer or whoever actually created it could be like, "Oh no, it's actually hard K."
They're all way different in Japanese.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean. But that as far as playing stuff, that's pretty much what I've been up to. What did I watch? I watched some stuff. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Finally, I was pretty excited to get that. I got a Blu-ray copy of it. Just finally got my hands on a hard copy. I missed it in theaters, and I knew I didn't want to rent it. I just wanted to own it. So
you just knew right off the bat, just
so
from the reviews, or you knew who made it, or
from the reviews and who was in it, and the production value of it, and reading 2 or 3 non-spoiler reviews. I was like, this is a fun movie. That if I spent, $27 on or whatever.
$27?
Whatever it was. I don't know what the fuck anything costs. That's my whole character. I'm a man that don't know how much things are.
I'll give you 5 Jack's Pizzas.
I know how much a Jack's Pizza is, baby. I got that one. Fucking $4.99. Or is it $5.99? Do I know?
Oh, who knows?
Fuck.
But, yeah, no, I didn't even hear of this movie.
Oh man, it's great. I don't want to spoil anything about it because I want to do it on the podcast. It's a lot to unpack, but it is a lot of fun. It's a really hilarious role for Jamie Lee Curtis and everybody else that's in it. The action and
it's not a Korean film.
The fight choreography is fucking amazing. No, is that because I like a lot of Korean films?
No, I just imagine that's what you're into.
I do like some Korean films. Did you watch Squid Games, Dave?
Yeah. I did watch that. I really like that. I'm excited.
It's
I
Korean.
believe
You
they
love it.
announced a second season. Even though Squid Game came out like 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago, wasn't it?
I believe they said they're going to come out with another season.
Yeah, it's called
Making Money, Bitches. Wait, somebody's going to pay for it? Yeah, I can make that.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah,
what
I
it's
got
called.
you. Yeah, it was never meant to have a season 2. But it's got one now, though, baby.
Oh, wait, Top Gun 3? Oh, I'm in.
I also watched Top Gun, Maverick. Top Gun, Maverick, the new one with Tom Cruise.
All right, I'll tell you a secret right now.
Oh, tell me.
I thought Charlie Sheen was in Top Gun. I thought Hot Shots was Top Gun this whole time.
The whole time?
For
You had
20
him-
years.
You had him flipped?
Not flipped. I just didn't realize Hot Shots was like a parody spoof of
Of Top
Top
Gun?
Gun.
Yeah.
And thought Charlie Sheen was in Top Gun. And I don't think I've ever seen Top Gun.
Oh, it's good.
I've heard Maverick was good.
It's good. I will. Yeah, the thing about Maverick that is especially striking is the visual effects, and all of the action sequences are just fucking top notch. There is a lot of stuff on the front end of it that I had not really problems with. I'm just like, this is really, really fucking cheesy. But you can almost forgive it because a good hunk of it's necessary, and the second part of it is a nonstop action-packed thrill ride, and it looks incredible.
Did you realize, I did hear one thing about, did you realize that you never get an actual country or anything? Like, it's always inferred, but you never get a country again.
Yeah, they never name a baddie. They're just like the enemy.
After hearing that, it's really interesting that movie did so well without actually having to put a name or a country or
Yeah, just didn't have
a
to.
persona behind the bad guy.
Yeah,
But it still worked. That's what intrigues me most about watching it, but I still haven't.
yeah. And of course, I watched Love and Thunder also, which I enjoyed. Again, I made a little post for that on Instagram. You can check that out at It's Just Two Movies. You can also write us at It's Just Two Movies at gmail.com. At It's Just Two Movies on almost every social platform. If you want to support the show, buymeacoffee.com/It's Just Two Movies. Or our website, it's justtwomovies.com. If you don't subscribe to any podcast platforms and you're listening to this on accident.
Handled it. That seems about it.
Yeah, that's it. Is there anything else you've been playing or getting into? Is there anything you're looking forward to? I'm really looking forward to Prey, which is a prequel to Predator.
I think you mean the game Prey?
No, that it is a game. Yeah, but it is a movie coming out. I think it comes out in August or September.
Haven't even heard of that. That sounds pretty interesting.
I'll show you the trailer when we're done
I'll
here.
say-
It's pretty cool.
I say most people probably haven't noticed, but I kind of beat off to Pokemon a lot. So, I mean, other than the new Pokemon Violet and Scarlet coming out, I can't really think it. Other than Thor, I am intrigued. I am wanting to go watch Thor: Love and Thunder in theater.
Yeah,
I'll probably go check that out.
I saw so many
this weekend or next.
I saw so many
Or this
mixed
week
reviews.
or next weekend.
Yeah, it took kind of a beating from some reviews, which I think is interesting. But fucking
Yeah, I'm
everybody's
pretty much all in on Taika. So
it's art, and art's subjective, man.
yeah, and if depending on, sometimes people got to look at the demographics too. Like if a movie is made for a adolescent man or adolescent woman and you don't fit the demographic, it's not made for you. So maybe look at it through a different veil.
Odds are,
Instead of
if you're tuning into this show, it's probably up your alley.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. It's fun by comparison. You know what I mean? I will tell you this. It without spoiling anything, it definitely ranked higher for me than Black Widow did, say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not really saying much because for most people,
Right.
Black Widow fared pretty low.
Yeah.
How would you?
It's my
Okay, I
favorite.
will
It's
ask
my
you this.
favorite Phase 4 movie.
Even though we've only done 2 Thors, where does it rank on the Thors?
Actually, I think I'm going to do this one, then Thor 1, then Love and Thunder, then Ragnarok.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Like, Ragnarok's still my fave.
That's about...
Ragnarok's still my fave because it's got so many hat tips in it to other things that I like.
And that's where I expected it to be, because Ragnarok was great. I feel like it was just a fun time from start to finish.
It was.
It has one of the best openings of just being fun with itself, just knowing what it is. And I feel like that's what Deadpool did amazingly with what the movie was. It just, you know what the movie is going to be, and they just fulfill on it. Like, you just have fun with yourself. And if you got people
it's
being...
a little fan service, and they're being silly. Comic books often reach out to that, be like,
right,
we're having a fun time here, right, folks? You know what I mean? So that's a common, I guess, break of the fourth wall between the writer and the reader. So it's refreshing to see that in a film from a thing that I remember fondly as some of these are just a short buddy comedy adventure.
Yeah, not all of them have to be serious, trying to build the biggest.
They don't. It could be like,
bad.
What if Thor and Hulk had to fight each other?
What if a frog had Thor's powers? And that's what I feel like is the great medium between comic books, is that they can have fun, but also be serious and fucking push the
social
the best
issues
writing that anybody's ever seen.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just unparalleled character development. I wouldn't say unparalleled character development. It is hard to say.
3 times say it.
It is
but
really
you
hard to say. Say it. Unparalleled character development. My God, what a prince!
That's called professionalism.
Say it again.
Uncharactered. I don't know what you said. Uncharactered.
You guys aren't gonna start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that phone talk! We're a one-eyed Batman!
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
We're Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin business is booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, God-Sized and Growing for some musical guest appearances, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously. I don't know. It's whatever creates the spikes.
Who knows?